Greetings, I'm Wes, and in this video I'm going to talk about how you can set up entry fees for your event. Normally you'll do this after you have finished up setting your class list and set up your cover page. So watch those videos if you haven't already. Once you do that, you can just navigate to this Entry Fees tab and press Add Entry Fees. This will bring up a table of all the entry fees for your event. So it's divided out in a number of ways here. First, we have a number of rows, which will set just the different types of classes that you can set fees for. So there's this default, which will apply when none of the other categories you select down below match. And there's also this final, which is a championship class, and this is a default here as well. So we're going to have 0 fees, that's pre-filled in, but mainly you want to control what's shown in the columns here. So I'll start up here actually. So there's a pre-entry fee for dogs, and that is the entry fee that applies before the online entry cutoff. So if you haven't yet set a cutoff date over here, I'll just bring this up and go into your online registration. You'll want to set an automatic registration cutoff date here. And pre-entry rate or fee will apply before that date. The post-entry fee will apply after that date. The day of show applies when your event is actually running, the dates that it's actually active. And we also have a youth entry fee for classes too. And finally, in this last column, there's a fee for sponsoring the class. Or as we'll see below how to set division sponsor fees as well. So I'm just going to fill in just some values here. And youth, we're just going to not apply an entry fee to youth. And the normal sponsor fee for a class will be $20. And if it's a final, if the class is a final, we'll want to make that $40. Now you don't have to fill in necessarily these best in reserve and champion reserve, but say you wanted to charge more for a champion class than a best class, then you would fill in 40 here and 60 here. You might also want to fill in the default in case you have a final that doesn't match a best or reserve or champion reserve. Maybe you have a high-end class instead or something. So that will give you that control. Now, if you have specific events that you need to apply different or specific divisions where you need, or classes where you need to apply different fees, you'll use this class category selector here. So let's say you're offering muskrat racing and you want to charge a different amount for that. Maybe it's $15 and $17 and $19. And youth, it doesn't apply, so you can leave that blank or just set it to 0. And muskrat racing sponsor is going to be $20 as well. And maybe you have a stakes racing class, or maybe you have a working terrier ceremony and you don't want to charge any entry fees for it. Just fill in 0. But to sponsor this class, maybe you'll want to make it a bit more, 50. So that's how you can configure your entry fees here for your normal classes. To sponsor sections or divisions or days in your trial, you can set that up here too, and maybe you want to make that 100 by default. And you control it. You can also add in some options here based on the section depth. So day is at the top of your class list tree. Division is down 1 level. A section is down 1 level more, and you can even go down further if your class list goes down even further than that. But you can set, maybe you want to charge even more to sponsor the entire day versus a division or a section. So that's how you can do that. We've also have the sponsor tiers option, and the sponsors are kind of tiered out in what they can do. So this is, we have a bronze tier, a silver tier, and a gold tier, and there's an amount you set here. The minimum amount they have to spend in order to be considered in that tier, the sponsors. And the different tiers allow them to do different things. Just the bronze tier, they just get to display a name. The silver, they get a name and a short message. And the gold, they display a business name and a logo actually as well. So if you don't want to, if you just want to kind of disable this functionality, you just set it all to $1. That way, anyone that sponsors anything, as long as they sponsor more than $1 worth, which they will get to display all of this stuff, which is a common option. So we'll just go ahead and save that. And it takes a minute here to update, but it'll do that. And so that will have loaded in this main entry fees section at the top. You can go in and edit that anytime you want. If you decide you have some different classes that need different fees. But I'll scroll down more because there's more to do if you need to. Additional fees and discounts. So if you're, depending on the organization you're affiliated with, maybe it's the JRTCA, then you need to collect a JRTCA fee for registered dogs. And to do that, what you'll do is just press this add button here. It's already pre-configured. You'll just add it in, and it pre-fills everything you need here. You don't need to edit it, just for consistency. But you can change this. You can, whether or not this should be computed for each day. Usually this will be yes for JRTCA trials because each day is a different trial in itself. So you'll want to recompute the fee for dogs on each day. So we'll create that. It's in there. You can remove it at any time here if you want. You can also, we have some other fees, some standard things loaded in here. If you want to do something that's not in this list, let me know, because we can usually add it in for you with not too much trouble. So if you want some customization. I'll point out a couple things here. Club discount can be useful to give people a discount on entry totals. There's also the Stripe convenience fee if you're going to set up online payments, which you can do here by just pressing this Connect to Stripe button, as we use Stripe for online payments. If you'd rather not pay that 3% convenience fee, you can add that in here and it will pass it on to attendees. You can also pass the Trial Vault fee and make sure you select the right one. It's now 15 cents per class entry, but you can pass that on to attendees too, if you're concerned about the cost. But that's completely up to you, and it's at the trial chair's discretion. So I hope that helps to understand this. Stay tuned for more.